For as long as I can remember, they've been telling us to enjoy it while they're young, but our days are filled with chaos and stress and cooking and endless laundry piles. Where's the time to enjoy it? Yeah, that's what I always thought too. There's so much I have to do. When do I find time for peace and joy and happiness when I barely have time to sleep? Mama, it's time to make shift happen. You can be a happy mom. If I can, you can. Trust me. I've been a mess, I've been depressed, I've been overwhelmed, I've been to the bottom of the pits, and I've risen, I've grown, I've bloomed, and it all started when I realized I didn't have to anything. I get to. It is my privilege and my honor and my divine responsibility to be the queen of my home. It's not a burden. I'm not a burden. I'm in charge. I'm the ruler. I'm the chaos coordinator. I'm the calm in the storm, and so are you. Come with me. Let's rise, mamas. Adjust your crown. Accept your responsibility. Change the effing world together. It's all in the way we choose to see it. I'm so glad you're here, friend. You're listening to Meant to Bloom with Brittany Clarkson. Hey, friend. Welcome back to the podcast. So I've been thinking over the last couple days how I really don't talk about how I use my planner all that often for someone who is as planner obsessed as I am, especially being that the way I use my planner has quite literally saved my life. So I thought we'd chat about that today. I use my planner a little bit differently than how I did years ago. So I kind of want to share some of those insights and answer some of the questions I've gotten recently about this topic. Okay, so let's chat real quick. How did my planner save my life? Well, at the time, um, I was using this very basic weekly planner that I'd gotten from Walmart. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't fancy. It had those grid lines and the dates in place, and I had to fill in the rest and do it all myself. But after I had that day, the day where I nearly ended my life, I knew that I couldn't go back to living every day the way I had before. And so, in order to change my habits and the way my days looked in order to change my life, I had to add some things into my daily planner that are really just what saved my life. What completely shifted my mental health and my mindset was adding in these three particular exercises that I talk about on here pretty often. I'm talking about intention, affirmation, and gratitude. So I took my just very plain planner, and in the day scheduler, I scheduled in the morning intention, affirmation, and gratitude, and I wrote those things in. I wrote my intention for the day or for my life. I wrote an affirmation, a positive thought about myself, a Bible verse or a song lyric, something that was speaking to me that day that I felt like I needed to remind myself of. And then I would add in something I'm grateful for, so that every single time I went back to my planner throughout the day to see oh, what am I supposed to be doing? What am I, what's today look like? I was constantly being reminded of these three very important things. And so seeing them often, that repetition, that was so beneficial to my mental health. And in addition to that, I started tracking my water, because body is important too. Same with mind and spirit. We've got to take care of yourself, and I find that water is it's magic. And when you're staying properly hydrated, it changes things. So I included that, and then I started putting my meals, my meal plan, into my daily schedule. And I started limiting my to-do list instead of looking at a master to-do list that I was never going to finish in a single day. Because that's not great for your mental health, to just see all of those pending tasks that you're not going to get to anytime soon. It's not great to be seeing those often. So in order to change my mindset around that, I would pick just 2, maybe 3 things and put those into my plans for each day. And so those were some of the ways that I started changing the way I was using my planner by adding all of those things in. And, eventually I got tired of having to add all those things into my planner that was not designed for those or supportive of those things. And I ended up just creating my own planner, which is the Everyday Joy Planner, which you can now purchase through Amazon or directly from me. And I will link that below for you. And it is pretty. It is very pretty. So that is how I'm actually like using my planner. Of course, I add in things like doctor's appointments and birthdays and, actual plans for the day and all of that. But being able to have a place in my planner that is designated for, you know, planning to be mentally healthy, that's kind of really important. And it's been super helpful for me over the last couple of years. So, what else I want to say about that is that your planner is a tool, it's not meant to be like a vice. Um, which, yeah, vice is a tool, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not meant to be restrictive, it's supposed to be helpful, not hurtful. It should be something that helps you keep track with your day, even knowing that some days you don't even need to be on a track. But it's not meant to be something that makes you feel unaccomplished or disorganized. That's basically why I don't use habit trackers at all, and you'll never find a habit tracker in my planners. Um, I do now in the newer versions of the planners include like bullet journal grid pages type things where you could add your own habit tracker, but I will never put one in my planners because habit trackers, I don't I don't view them mindset wise the way that I should. When I look at a habit tracker and I have not completed it, it just feels like it feels like it's just like a failing grade. Like I don't feel like I'm learning and growing from it. I feel instead like it's just showing the days that I failed. So I don't use one. And if your planner is making you feel like that too, then use your planner differently. Figure out a different way that works for you and feels good and keeps you on track and keeps you like feeling positive about your days. All right, so I'm the type of person who needs structure in my life and I need a place to organize all of my thoughts. But also, my thoughts are messy and I have to brain dump before I put things in my planner a lot of the time. And also, I don't like a strict schedule and I don't like being told what to do, even if it's me telling me what to do. I don't always like that. That all being said, there are days that I don't even look at my planner and I just keep a reminders list in my phone and set alarms um, in my phone throughout the day to keep me on track with what I need to be doing and where I need to be going and making sure I don't forget to pick my kid up from school on time and all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, some days I'm way on top of things and I'm looking at my planner, and other days I'm just winging it and I set timers in my phone and I do it as I go. Um so there's that. I've also been asked about dealing with a sense of dread regarding filling out your planner. So if you're looking at like a blank page in your planner and you're feeling paralyzed by it and you're just getting this sense of dread um, over filling it out, I want to tell you it's okay to have empty days in your planner. And it's also okay to like take a notebook and just brain dump everything before you put it in your planner if you're feeling perfectionistic about how you're writing things and you want to get it right the first time. Brain dumping beforehand can be super helpful. And that's why I put a brain dump in my daily planner before planning your week. Um, the weekly planner only has a brain dump once a month. So sorry about that. That's just how it is. Um, but yes, doing a brain dump can be super helpful. And if you're getting like paralyzed about blank pages, I just want you to know like it's okay to have blank pages. It's okay to not use your planner every single day. I don't. Um, and it's also okay some of the days where I don't plan anything, I will just keep track of what I'm doing throughout the day by writing it in my planner. Um, just so I have a reference for like how did I spend that day? If I want to look back and be like, well, was this a really busy week? Did I do a lot? Like, was I out of the house a lot? Did I, have a lot of projects going on? And I'll just write like as I go in my planner, and that's fine too. And that's that. Um, But also, I know about dealing with a sense of dread over like all the things that need to be done, feeling really restrictive about your planner, and just feeling like there's so much to do. And honestly, like I wake up with a sense of dread a lot of mornings. Um, like not just like a sense of dread, but like a lot of anxiety over everything that needs to get done. Just because I have like this whole morning routine of like, okay, I have to get up, I have to put in my contacts, I have to get my kid breakfast, I have to let the dogs out, I have to let the chickens out, I have to do this, I have to do that. And it like builds up and it all tries to like pile on me at one time. And it's usually like first thing in the morning, like putting in my contacts, like, day has not even started and I'm feeling this sense of anxiety over everything that needs to get done. And I'm just thinking about my morning, not even the full day. Like that's not even considering what's for dinner and all that stuff. But I simply overcome this. Um, there's two questions you can simply ask yourself, which is like, what are you actually afraid of? And what's the worst that could happen? Like literally walking yourself through the worst that could happen. But more when it's dealing with my anxiety over what's going on, is I will simply breathe deeply and repeat between two different phrases, between remembering one thing at a time. Just do one thing at a time. And then uh, also the phrase, like, it will all get done just as it always does. Like, everything will be completed in the right timing. And I just breathe deeply and alternate those two phrases and remind myself, it's okay. It's going to be okay. It's always okay. We'll get through this one thing at a time. Um, so, also, I wanted to address when your day gets off course, because, of course, it always will. I mean, not always, but I mean, like, there will always be days where your day doesn't go as planned. Like, it's inevitable that that's going to happen at some point. And the simple answer to that is grace. Giving yourself grace. And if it seems to be happening a lot, that you're always getting off course and your day is never going as planned, the simple, obvious suggestion to this is to get in the habit of planning less. Stop trying to plan out your full day. If it's not going as planned, it's not going to hurt to just not plan it. Plan for the unexpected. It's okay to make your busy days well planned and then to wing it the rest of the week. Like if you have a couple days a week where you're like, I know I have to be out of the house and doing a bunch of things, and these days are packed with stuff, it's okay to well plan those days, to plan them down to the minute. And then the days you have off from that, the days where you don't have to be out and doing things all the time, it's okay to just not plan those days and to just wing it and be like, well, we'll figure it out when we get there, right? Um, I also want to address working from a restful state, or what I'm starting to call slow productivity, or peaceful productivity. Let's call it that, peaceful productivity. I'm even going to make a note of that so I remember that because I like that. So, as an Enneagram 9, I love living in the gray area. So, if you're unfamiliar with Enneagrams or you're unfamiliar with the number 9, I am the peacemaker. I am what's known as someone who will do anything to avoid conflict and to just keep everyone around me happy. Some would call me highly sensitive, some would call me an empath, but I absorb the energy around me. So it's very important for me to like keep everyone around me happy, which, is something I'm working on, is being my own peacemaker of myself and keeping myself at peace instead of draining my cup empty to keep everyone else happy. That's just a personal struggle of mine, personal thing I'm working through. But I love living in the gray area, and sometimes this can be a really, really great thing. So life doesn't always have to be black and white. It's not about either or. There is another option, and it's called and. I love and. Okay? Because you don't have to choose between having a restful day and a productive day. You can have both at the same time. Okay? Not every day has to be one or the other. Um, And I really love the way that Ali Casaza talks about working from a place of rest. And she is the absolute reason that I write so many of my emails and do my podcast outlines from the bathtub, because you can do your work from a restful place. You can be super comfy and cozy while working. I mean, yeah, obviously there's some types of work that you can't, you know, but if there's something you can do to make your work more fun, more enjoyable, a little bit better, then do that. Like when it comes time to make dinner, what can you do to have more fun making dinner or to make it more of a peaceful experience? Can you light a candle? Can you play some soft music? What can you do to be peacefully productive? Okay, friend, I'm going to link in the description of this episode information to my guide bundle. Okay, the guide bundle is relatively new. I have taken all of my best guides and printables and planning and workbooks from my Etsy shop, all of the printable stuff, the digital downloads, and I've put them all in one place where you can make one purchase and get about a dozen different files. So in this guide bundle, I have my self-care toolkit, or sorry, my self-love toolkit. No, it's not a toolkit. It's called the Self-Love Starter Guide. I completely forgot what it's called. But that's all about growing in self-love, and it's going to walk you through exercises to accept yourself, to love yourself, and to kind of grow in some confidence. But also, I have the quick declutter guide, which is going to help you get started easing the environmental overwhelm around you. I have the Happy Mom Brain Workbook. That's right. The Happy Mom Brain Workbook is in the guide bundle. It's a digital download version, not the same one you'd get off Amazon and have delivered to your house. This is the digital version, but all the information is still in there. It's exactly the same. It's also got my monthly goal planner, which is very similar to the Everyday Joy Planner. It just doesn't have daily or weekly views to it. It's just your month. But it's got all the planning and all of those kinds of guided questions about your month plans and month organization in that can be super helpful. The meal planning guide, because planning dinner, like deciding what's for dinner, can really suck. The meal guide is going to walk you through how to plan your dinners, and it's got all the templates you need for planning your dinners, for running a family menu, grocery shopping templates, all of that in there. This also has the gratitude guide, which is going to walk you through how to grow gratitude. It's all my best advice on really getting into an attitude of gratitude. Um, it's got over 100 journal prompts. It's got my entire affirmations collection, and it has a bunch of adult coloring pages that I'm really excited to be sharing with you guys. So I'm going to link that below, the guide bundle, and I'll tell you right now up front, it's $23. The value far exceeds that. If you were to buy each of these things individually on Etsy, it would be over $36. And Etsy prices are even discounted from what these things are worth. A lot of websites, a lot of other businesses, if they were selling these things, they would be charging at least double what I sell. But like I've mentioned before, I grew up on Walmart clearance racks, and I am just really into a good deal, and I love passing on savings to people. So if I can save you money by not making as much money myself, I will do that, because that's the Enneagram 9 in me, the peacemaker, the problem solver, the conflict avoider. I'm just here to pour out to you. So I'm going to link that below, the guide bundle, if you're interested in that. Thank you so much for joining me today for this episode of Meant to Bloom. It really does mean the world to me. But are you ready to take this a step farther? Check out the description below of this episode and grab your mindset makeover. It's totally free, my gift to you. Then hop on Instagram and let me know what you thought of this episode. Tag me at Britt Clarkson, that's BritClarkson. If any part of this resonated with you, please let me know by tagging me or leave a review and share on social media so other mamas can find this too. If it helped you, it's going to help someone else. You're part of a movement now. Let's go.